Not as tall as that, though.
Not as tall as that, okay. It's hard to tease out, because like, theoretically, if you're making a model, you should cut out the vent stuff, even though it looks cool, because it's not actual terrain. So like something like that, having not seen it, I'm just curious if I'm
The vent
editing
was
that.
about 5 meters tall.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Was it chimney-like like this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there was 2 of them.
So that could be,
Okay, maybe.
that could
Yeah.
be real.
It was
Yeah.
a structure on top of the mound.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll leave
Yeah.
that, theoretically.
We can
And
sort
it
of
was tall and skinny like that,
Okay,
spinely.
all right, I'll leave that.
So
But
we're
then
kind
this
of
stuff's, no, that's the fluid or whatever.
hoping to start seeing something off to our, off to our right, that mound.
Yeah,
Okay, so the one we're seeing, that tracks as being dead dog then, on our right side.
so if this map, this local
Right.
map is to be trusted, you're saying this could be Chowder Hill, and then, that's what Lynette
I
was
think we're getting
theorizing,
this,
was
and I
that
think we're now starting to see him
there
dead
would
dog
be
on the
something
starboard
to
side.
the, she made a bet before she left and marked a target of where she thought dead dog would be, and that's tracking, so just let's hope for whatever.
So Dirk, you think we're
I think we're
here?
cutting right between Chowder Hill and dead dog. And we're
so why
doing that.
haven't we seen the cork though? Or you
I
think that was
this
the
is
cork down here?
I think that's.
You think that's the cork?
I think that's it. Yeah. You won't necessarily see the perfect funnel
Yeah,
shape,
yeah.
but
Yeah, it is kind of a weird, off
Ye-
on its own.
not on
Looks
a
like
mound.
Oh yeah, there's definitely an event there for sure, look at that.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's like,
What direction is
that might win $1 million.
is Herc
Lynette's
heading?
winning.
It's heading-
So hold on a second, I'll measure that out.
West?
So,
I think
We're going due west.
so
Due
that
west.
is no,
Yeah.
that's, we're going west, that's due north of us, and it is 60 meters north, something like that, which makes it,
It looks like it's got
Gonna
some
be
crazy spires compared to
16 years.
Chowder Hill.
Yeah. Compared to what we think now is Chowder Hill.
For now.
For
oh man, Lynette's almost bang on.
Well,
where
we
she-
went to
where she
sample
thought it
Chowder
was.
Hill, and we
You
did
guys should listen to
accidentally.
Lynette more often.
How much did she bet?
$1 million.
Oh,
$1 million.
wow.
$1 million.
Yeah,
No one
for
really
her.
took the bet, but yeah, so
yeah.
that's it. This is where her target, she was about 20 meters off. But we hadn't covered that direction yet. She thought that where we were at was probably Chowder Hill if the map was to be trusted, which makes
So
sense.
we were totally in the wrong quadrant.
I'm glad we went west.
We just had a bit of an offset. But we found a new vent,
Yeah.
the small vent.
Well, we found 2 of them, this small vent and this diffuse vent.
Well, let's see what else we can find out here.
So the big mistake was to stop that survey.
Yeah,
The root cause.
Because
got a
we
little
found
impatient
Chowder Hill
there.
then too.
yeah,
Should have done 2 kilometers instead of 1.6.
yeah,
Sound like the real mistake was not listening to Lynette.
yeah.
Yeah, that too.
Well,
That
she didn't
too.
voice her opinion to us.
Yes,
No,
she did.
She did?
She marked it on a map.
She did.
No, but she didn't say anything on...
Nope, she did.
What did she say? I-
She said, I think it's up here.
Oh, well... But I didn't see the map.
This is great. We're getting great
Well,
coverage.
we would still be... This is still quicker.
Oh, this is great.
I
We
think-
got the sample of Chowder Hill that we planned to do accidentally. So,
Yeah, well, you
Ahead
sampled
of the
event.
game.
That's positive. That's a good
So
thing.
it's like the Benjamin Button of gas tights.
something like that.
No one's ever said that before. New phrase. New phrase,
Are you
everybody.
checking if the data's in there?
Yeah, I'm checking if the data's in there, of course. What do you think this is?
Oh my god.
Did you guys change from Middle Valley to Middle Valley Transect? You kind of like changed the name. I'll ask Johan.
We need a lock feature on the
Well, what if it's
survey?
not there? You know? It's only... It's not that big.
Dan's probably downstairs losing his mind right now.
Just unrelated to what we're doing,
Hates,
or what?
hates when hates. Yeah, I mean, yeah, yes, but also wasn't he complaining when people tinker with the maps when they?
Yeah, but I need to tinker. That's how I assess.
Hey, look at that. Another spire to knock over.
This stuff is going to be annoying to tease out, and I want to know why it's happening.
This
Why?
Yeah, we're
What
like-
I can
this
do to
little
get rid of
guy
it.
here,
Yeah.
and then this little guy here, and then that's off to the
I
right.
Like,
think
there's
that's
not
it,
like
this?
gain settings
I think
really.
this little nub
There's
Yeah.
TVG.
is that one we're seeing right now.
Yeah.
Backscatter
If
control.
it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Whatever. I think I'll just be able to
Yeah, let's see this guy
edit it out. It's just these tall vents that are.
behind.
Ah, here's Lynette telling me she's right.
She is. She was totally right.
So we all gonna pool this money, or
Yeah.
I just got on shift. This feels like statute of limitations kind of thing.
It's pretty sweet.
Yeah, it's a great map. This one will be easy to
Yeah.
turn over. And also when we come back, we'll be able to see what kind of like value there would have been in a patch test. I mean, obviously you wouldn't want to take the time, but for something like this, but because we're flatter, we can see what kind of offset without having to deal with all the plume fluid and all that
It'd
stuff.
be a good patch
The
test. Dog one,
yeah.
or the one to our starboard, kind of looks like it's got a little more going on.
Yeah, hard to say. There's some strange like striations in here,
Yeah.
like these patterns, and I'm interested to see if
I wonder. That one looks pretty cool. Want to secure the Tritech?
What's that? Yeah, go ahead. We tried that in the water column to see if it got rid of it, and it didn't. But it's not useful to you now anyway, so you could just. And that's 650 kilohertz, and this is 400. So theoretically, it should be fine. Where are we in our move? Okay, the ship move is complete. Atalanta probably has a ways to go. Yeah, because it's not on the screen anymore. Where's the ship? What happened?
Wait, what?
Oh, we're at 2,400 meters. It's like that extra few hundred meters, and the layback's insane. Like 3,000 meters is just like, you can call into the bridge and then walk away for 5 minutes. I think it's not linear, but it's roughly like a minute per 1,000 meters is how long it takes for Atalanta to move after you call it in. Oh yeah, you're falling. Yeah, what are you doing over there? You're getting lost over here too.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You gotta drive.
I'm not lost. I know exactly where I am.
Oh, see, look, when we went over that mound like that, it perfectly. So the altitude's probably fine. We'll see what kind of oscillation there is, but it doesn't look as bad as it was the other
We
day.
dialed it in. The key is the max velocity for Z.
Well, if you can record that in any way, so we can make notes for the
we have
orbit.
been.
Okay.
Dan wrote something for our ROV chat, and then also I have some notes.
But that'd be
and some
awesome to
pictures.
incorporate in this document.
Yeah. I'm gonna add this to the SOP.
Oh, awesome! Thank you.
Having in
Thanks for aggressively proving to me. Look,
I
I'm
wonder
doing
how
it.
these were made.
Mm-hmm.
I said I'm doing these maps from the 90s. How they made these contour maps? If it was just by observation, or how would you have made these?
Katie said that they were down here with Alvin.
So just like
I think they were
Using-
hand drawn. They're hand drawn by altitude and depth.
by altitude, depth,
Yeah.
and observation kind of
Yeah.
thing. Wow.
And whatever subsea nav they had, if they were referencing it after the fact.
They had XY from their
Yeah.
their long baseline.
Oh, they had an LBL down here.
I think so. That's the sense, because there's those registration marks that.
Well, that would hone in a bit better.
But I think they're hand drawn, and they also had some sort of active acoustics stuff to get backscatter from the ship, I guess. I don't know how they did that, to show where there was some heat flux. But I'll say that now, and hopefully Katie will chime in and tell me I'm wrong, and give the right answer.
So you guys actually saw like chimney structures on top of that one mound
Yep.
there that we think is chowder?
Well, there was two.
There were two. But it wasn't just a small.
No, it looked like a
Fissure
totem pole.
vent.
Like
It was, okay.
it looked
But
like a
so
spire.
how come the wellhead didn't show up?
It did. It's right there.
It's right here.
We suspect this is it.
Right here, Steve.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be
Way
good to
that
inspect
way.
that to see what.
And then you even could see some pock marks that could be see just to the right of it.
Yeah, yeah.
Those could be the other drill
These-
indents because they're all pretty close to each other, right?
Yeah, they don't follow the map direction. Well, do they?
They do, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
They are just to the north of the wellhead, so I think
Yeah. I see it now.
well, if that is it, I mean, I don't know. That's just what it's looking like right now. Rennie,
Yes.
just curious, how long do you think this survey will take at the rate we're doing it to map this whole?
Well, now that we know kind of where this is, I would have stopped the ship already, but now we're kind of in the middle of that move. We might as well keep mapping, but it seems like we've reached what would be the western extent of this map pretty soon.
Okay.
Which, you know, there's value in collecting more, but obviously if we want to focus on what's north-south,
Yeah.
I might try to see, let me see how many passes in this direction, or if we just change our strategy to go north-south just to cover like 1 or 2 more passes, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That would probably be the fastest, and I'm presuming that we're on somewhat of a time
Yeah.
constraint.
It would be nice to still be able to have time at the end to take another gas state or something.
Yeah.
It's so cool though how we can see the ocean floor.
Do you guys have a feel for other areas of interest? Is it north or south or from here that you want to?
Here's the map from the 90s. So if you look at this,
Yeah.
Let me see what's going on. Hercules.
So
We're
we're
Swerve.
currently moving west.
yeah, we're currently moving west. I think we're spun around a little bit, but the first mound, so we were heading this way. First mound we think we saw is this Chowder Hill. It kind of like came right through here, and then Dead Dog here, and now we're kind of like off over here. And so there's certainly some stuff that would be nice to see up here in the north. And like what's outside of this 90s map,
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you.
Could anyone? Is it like all known or?
I don't know how much detailed surveying there was done outside of this. There's some other like spots where the ocean drilling program had sites further south,
Yeah.
and I'm sure that there's, you know, similar detail maps there. But for this, oh, let me show you another map.
And
for
either way,
context.
this is the max resolution. Is this hand-drawn map of the immediate area? Is that right?
Well, that's all I could find.
Yeah.
I don't know whether it might be, there might be others.
So back row, how do you want to approach this next bit now that we know the orientation of this? So that just from start to now has been about a half an hour. There was a little bit of slowness at the beginning. Knowing that time and what we've covered, I mean, an ideal strike would be north-south, but now we're not really in a convenient way to get that. So what we could do is just go north, do another pass as we've just done, and then kind of reassess once we're there.
Yeah. Since we are where we are, just give us a second, Rennie.
Sure.
I think, so we're probably right here.
Yeah,
If we do this, we might miss this top stuff.
yeah,
and then
we would have to
a
do
whole
another
nother-
pass. Yeah.
I wonder if we should come back up across and then all the way down so we can see some of this stuff.
Yeah,
Just kind of reset.
yeah. So for context, Rennie,
Yeah.
like looking at the paper map, the interesting stuff is to the north.
Yeah, because
And
we think we're like somewhere over here, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rainey has the
Yeah.
map.
Yeah.
So
and
if
we want to go here.
yeah,
Why don't we could
if we
just
just
beeline
went-
to it? and then come down.
Yeah, that's pretty
Oh,
not
yeah,
a bad
okay.
idea, yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because we'll still cover it. Unless you want to go up, over, and down, which we could do as well.
We can always
What-
crop the map. We don't, yeah, it's fine. I
I'm
think
with
just
you.
your beeline idea is probably pretty good, Steve.
I was just wondering why is it complicated to go north-south now?
Just because we're on the far west extent, in order to get to the center of this and then run on the line north, it's going to take time, whereas we'll at least get
I'm
some,
holding position here. Just so you know.
Roger, holding position.
If we went north from here, we'd just get a bigger map, right?
Yeah, we could go north and then come over and then down. That's fair. Or we could just go, I think
Seems
it's
like that
probably
would be
6.
faster, wouldn't it? Just we'll get more, but you're just not turning as much. Or I don't know.
That like northwest quadrant doesn't seem to have.
Yeah, so I think we're all on the same page.
Yeah.
We don't need to turn right here and go up because then we'll
Yeah.
get 100 meters of this, what's currently black, right, to our
Yeah.
port side.
But we don't know what's there
so we're
anyway.
going up and down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
it doesn't
so
hurt to
just,
get more.
would you like to go due north and then come back down for another pass, or do you just want to go beeline to that where we think is the top of this and then come down?
Just stand by 1 sec.
Sure, I'm fine with either. I'm going to reset your DVL. That doesn't matter with the mapping. So you come out of AutoXY for a second. Okay.
Let me know if you want me to start like turning to go north of it. Because I'll do it slowly.
Yeah, we're going to face at least north. Wait, hold on 1 second. Let me just do a quick little stop-start on the record so I can cut that out if I want to. Because the turns really do kind of mess it up. And go slow.
Yeah, I've
It takes a while to stop this thing, even though I think it's stopped. Okay, you can go ahead again.
all right. Oh, wrong button.
Too fast.
What? Too fast? No way.
For a second, but it seems fine now. Yeah, that's fine.
It's pretty slow.
Yeah, I think it just like went quick for a second, and then I don't know if it like took a second to. It's fine now.
Nice. Yeah, this will take a minute.
Yeah.
Well, it's better than the way Dan was having me do it.
We have a plan.
Okay.
Yeah, the key is to just lower all these velocities.
What's the plan?
If you pull up your paper map,
Yes.
and where we are now, if you go like to the north but not straight north, maybe 20 offset 20 degrees or so.
Towards east like this.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Yeah,
th-
so, oh, sorry.
And then like a little overshoot where the map is,
Okay.
and then come back down and we'll overshoot in that southeast corner.
Okay.
Right. Does that make sense?
Do you want to
Yep,
bring
it does.
Atalanta
Let me
setting around
just
as well?
see what kind of distance that is.
Okay.
I need the little post-it thing on my.
Because it does look, from the preliminary multi-beam that we have done, it looks like there's potentially something interesting even in this
Yeah.
like far corner that's not on the paper map.
Yeah.
But it looks interesting. I don't know.
So meaning like over here.
So I
like
think
down
we're-
here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
think
because
we're, like,
there's this
here.
stuff that they
South-
have mapped.
But like this stuff southeast of Chowder Hill, like all the way, this is kind of
but
not
this
shown.
this is like this, right?
What's that? No, that's north.
This is west right here.
This
Nope.
is west.
No, north's up.
Yeah, north is up right now.
Is north always up?
It is on this map
North is up.
because there's a north arrow.
Oh.
there?
Yep.
Yeah, it's
Under the legend in the top right, there's a north arrow.
Under the legend in the top right.
Do you guys have the same map?
we see
Oh
the
no, we're
same
looking
map.
at your
We're looking
your
at
screen.
the
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
yeah, your
Yeah.
screen. You were like,
No, this is not north up. Sorry.
that's not north up.
Well,
That's
it's roughly.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
that's
because
like,
we did a west transect, so yeah,
Right,
it's north
okay,
up.
I see
That's
where
okay,
we
my
are.
goodness.
Yeah.
If that was not north up, I would have been like, forget.
well, I mean, it's not always
absolutely
it's not
everything
always
I've
north
said.
up is what I meant, but currently, yes, it is just about.
So this is chowder,
So
Yeah.
it's like
dead
this.
dog.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Oh,
And so yeah, you're talking about down in
yeah,
this
and that's kind of
corner
off the
there.
paper map, doesn't
Yeah.
exist. So
Well,
yeah,
there's some of it, right?
Just
Yeah.
about
This.
facing north.
yeah, it's
Okay,
little
cool.
spots and stuff.
Yeah, but
We're
we
gonna
definitely wanna
overshoot it a
overshoot.
little bit. So let me see.
Yeah.
Let's see, 1, 2, 3. So that's like, we'll go 600 meter step to try to get that north extent, and we may have to go even further. What angle do we need, huh? Where's my protractor?
100.
Why don't I have a protractor? Seems like a critical tool.
You have a compass.
You have an ROV, you can guess.
All right, what angle do
Where are we trying to go?
If we're right at the center of the compass there,
Well, that was
and we're
funny the
trying to
other
go
day.
to the top of this,
We wanted to
30 degrees.
don't
get a
touch
quick
the
sketch too of like the grotto.
30.
But so you just
Yeah.
highlight this over
Right.
top, and then you can like kind of softly draw
So go to
based on what
30.
the map's saying. It's like, here's grotto, here's
Change-
Lobo, here's whatever,
So-
North Tower.
Jake, change your heading to 30.
Roger, 30.
And then I'm just going to call that move in now so we get going. So 600 meters. 600 meters, 030. Bridge nav.
Mm. 600 cameras and no protractor.
We've got a protractor in front
Can
of our
we
base.
step 600 meters, 600 meters, bearing 030? Yep, speed 0.5. Thank you. Let's see what that looks like here with that 30 degrees. Once you can, are you about there? You're at 20, okay. Yeah,
Just
that
about.
looks good. If we visualize that 30.
Yeah.
Sure. We're not going for a perfect map. Honestly, like a single pass is pretty good. Like we don't need like 200% coverage just to get like a base for them. So we'll go up. We'll probably miss the top of this. So we're going to come back down to sample. So we'll get it on that. So we went 200 meters. Took about
Hey Steve,
So this
Yep.
so obviously this is like an area of interest, and same with Endeavour, where
Okay,
our
30.
instrumentation is.
Gonna cycle
But are there
this.
lots of other similar sites in the area that's just not been, these are just the sites that have been chosen to be studied, or are there hundreds of these little things all over the place, or thousands? Or it's just a particularly high concentration of this kind of thing?
Well, they're usually found by sub-bottom kind of like anomalies, and they say, okay, something's happening here. Then you do CTD casts, things like that, to say, oh yeah, there's some change in the water column, and then so there could be other ones we don't know. But basically, we could do this over, let's say, grizzly bear and baby bear and those ones.
Yeah.
Like we wouldn't do the whole area, which is large, because it's mostly flat, but you can go in there and get these nice shots of all those mounds and see how they change over time.
So,
And that may be a really useful thing to do at some point.
so there would be potentially a lot of
You come out
events
of
like this
AutoXY.
just not studied, because this kind of is a representation of the other ones kind of thing.
Okay.
I think these ones were, since ODP basically seems to have started going there, basically must have been, they were doing surveys and saw faults and
Hey, what's happening?
and weird structures under the surface, looking
Yeah.
for
Why did
oil
it
or
not
whatever.
record?
And you went there to check it out.
Yeah,
I
they
mean,
had to
that's-
do pretty extensive preliminary work even to get a leg booked on ODP.
Right.
Yeah.
Why didn't
So
you
they
record
knew a lot
this?
of what was going on here before with the Langseth or one of those, you know.
Oh, Katie says, as far as
Is
I
it
know,
still
this
recording?
is the biggest concentration
so.
of vents in Middle Valley. We know this from initial heat flow work that was done well before drilling happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, so interesting.
See if there's any errors or anything going on?
No, I don't think.
Oh, I mean in the I pulled
Oh,
in the
in the-
RViz.
in
It
the
might just be not
drawing.
visualizing it. No, that's not.
The points are up.
Steve, so these vents
Oh, there they are.
compared
They just took a
to
while to
Baby
load.
Bear,
Took
those
quite a while.
guys like
It's
down
weird.
in Cascadia, are they similar to that? or are they much different?
Those are seamounts, aren't they?
They're seamounts, but
Yeah.
Oh,
they,
they're seamounts,
they do,
okay.
you know, where you water flows into the
Yeah.
the
It's
the
not
crust
hot.
anywhere.
It's not hot there,
It's
though.
not as hot,
Yeah.
but you need the heat to drive that sort of siphony effect. So it comes in a grizzly bear, which is a big open area, and then it spouts out the baby bear.
Yeah.
But it's going through the sea floor, and it's still warmer. You know, as you go down, things get warmer. You know, geothermal stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see how there's
Yeah,
kind
maybe
of an
after
offset
we-
here.
And we're not that far. You know, baby bear is pretty close to the spreading center.
Yeah.
I mean, it'll be less and less as you get closer to the. Then you get heating from the friction of the subduction zone. So there's stuff there.
It's part of it's
So-
just the
So Katie
multi-beam
says
capability.
Bent Hill is the other location in Middle Valley, which for reference is to the southeast of where we are right now. The whole point of Middle Valley was to look at how mineral deposits form. And then she also says this system is completely different. I think in reference to the bear discussion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I figured as much.
Yeah.
It's just, I kind of like this as a,
And Middle Valley used to be
Can we bring
near
Adelina's
at
heading
the
around
ridge
to
crest until
030?
ridge segmentation migrated the spreading
030.
into West Valley. Oh, and West Valley is where we mapped in 2020 with the ship-based multi-beam.
And I think John,
was-
who's online here
that-
too.
That was bumpy.
Yeah. Well, the recent work with Zoe and William Wilcox
Here's
show
Bent
that
Hill.
there's a different sort of propagator, whatever that is. The crack is changing direction to more north-south than it was. The other
Oh, really?
line, well, they got the two lines there. And so, yeah, things move around. We're at this corner point with a triple junction, so we've got more, it's not just a straight line. So things can, lots of stresses.
Yeah. Kind
So
of like
cool.
similar to Dirk's earlier question though, like is this one, is there a confidence associated that this area here specifically is unique from what could be a kilometer north, right? Or just picking an arbitrary direction. Like, is Middle Valley in itself scientifically unique versus the nearby area?
So just for reference, here we are at Dead Dog. This is Bent Hill that Katie was talking about.
Oh, okay.
And so I think the distance between these is,
I think
know,
in
it's
the
a couple
order of like
kilometers.
6
Yeah.
kilometers or something.
If this is 11 square, yeah.
well, this is
One.
a kilometer
Yeah.
roughly here. So
Yeah, it's probably like 4 or 5.
yeah, close to 4 kilometers. And so, and all these stars here are boreholes that the ocean drilling program drilled.
And so, and then these two are active vents over here. In red, the triangles.
Good question. I'm not sure what the ODP mound is. Do you know, Steve?
It's basically
Is it another
some,
vent
I don't
or
think
some-
there's
or-
a vent,
or a mound that?
came from a vent,
Yeah,
but
okay.
but it's huge.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
It's really big. So there's been a lot of venting here for a long time, and now it's, I think, shifting away to West
Listen,
Valley.
listen to this, ready?
Yeah.
The West Valley, this is from John Jameson on the chat. The West Valley mapping you guys made for us a couple of years ago, so this is the 2020 mapping, was amazing. We have a paper that will be published this year on the vents we discovered at West Valley with the help of that mapping.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Did they find stuff in the water column? Or just from the bathymetry? Curious about that.
Well, John, if you just heard that question,
Yeah.
maybe you could answer.
They-
So-
I believe Rennie asked you, Megan.
They,
Did I find any? No,
Yeah.
I did not.
I think they had their own crews. John will probably give you the better answer instead of me getting it wrong, but they had their own crews as well, but they didn't have the mapping.
So Katie also says, so if you look at the overall shape of the faults that bound Middle Valley, it's an old overlapping spreading center.
We're putting John and Katie to work today.
I know.
Yeah, there's
Thanks,
like-
guys. Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah, this is awesome to get so much background and
Yeah, can you guys mic up?
yeah.
Ship a mic.
Yeah, the background and the context is super, super helpful.
Yeah, thanks for being online. Hopefully seeing this kind of map is cool from your perspective, having been here.
I think we're just this week, this is the John and Katie, just sending out a save the date notice. I can't remember the dates right now.
Save it.
So you lost the date.
I lost the date.
That's why they,
But
that's why they send the.
we're going to have a meeting on on the new sort of happenings at Endeavour. There's some increased seismicity.
Oh, is this
and
the workshop you're talking
yeah,
about?
basically
No, I
I'm
thought
just
they were
announcing.
getting married or something. I didn't know what the.
Like
what
I
we
never
saving
got
the
a
date
save
you-
the
for.
date.
Did you get a fridge magnet? I think it's
the
roughly
reading break.
scheduled in November.
It's the reading break in November for
Yeah, I
us.
think that's right.
I can look it up, and I'm supposed to approve the official save the date notice, but
The
I'll
first-
let you know. In November, we're going to have some people together for maybe 2 or 3 days, try to get as many early career scientists that you know that hopefully we might be able to fund some, but I don't know.
Wow.
Some younger people to come out.
So
We're all getting old.
Yeah.
John
Tell
also
me about
says, we found an inactive field at West Valley. This is work we did with Charisse Dupree near a location of a very old discovery in the 90s.
Nice. Cool. I sailed with Charisse Dupree, yeah, but not that year. DFO, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But that would have been not 2020, or maybe it was, I can't remember.
And then there's more.
Oh.
The backscatter data allowed us to map old versus new lava flows and some mounds that were not covered by new lava that host the old vent fields.
Nice.
More follow-up work is required, especially CTD casts and high-res mapping to look for more venting.
Cool. Backscatter. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see the backscatter on, I haven't done a lot of backscatter work with the K2 mapping system. We tend to be at such a fine scale where you can see any features anyway. But that's going to be part of the pipeline as well, just for a whole picture, you know, eventually. It just takes a while to process
cool.
all these things. We're getting the backscatter. I think that's what we're visualizing in this sepia tone. It goes away, but I'm pretty sure that's the intensity of the return, so it'd be interesting to see.
Good plug on the Endeavour workshop, Steve.
I'm getting the hang of it.
Yeah, get people jazzed.
I'm sad I'm going to miss it. I didn't get to save the date.
No, I haven't sent it. It's not been sent yet.
No one has saved the date yet.
Steve just lost the date.
I forgot
Then he'll
what the
find
date was.
it and then save it.
I tried to send it before we went to sea, but it had to be approved with special, nice logos and stuff like that. So
Yeah, I can confirm that the sepia return is intensity, so that's the backscatter.
Can you point again on the screen? What?
the brown yellow
Yeah,
stuff.
Oh, the brown yellow.
For the most recent points, the brighter would be the more intense returns. So
Okay.
if we went over something that was hard, we'd see a brighter return, and then we can correlate that with whatever bathymetry we're seeing. Just
Cool.
Does it have some way to sort of normalize it from angle? Like you can get a
You can in post, but probably not real
right,
time.
right.
When you make like a true backscatter map, there's a bit of that. There's angle and slope and whatnot. So you wouldn't, yeah, you'd get rid of that kind of color gradient.
Right.
This must be, how long has this kind of thing been around where we can get this kind of multi-beam data off an ROV?
So the sensors themselves, this is my understanding of it and experience, the sensors themselves, form factor and depth rating are not incredibly new relatively.
Yeah, they've been around,
but
right? Yeah.
it's the, you know, because you figure they're on AUVs and stuff, but it's the navigation to do it
Yeah.
with both the XY plane and also the heave, like kind of roll pitch, everything, being able to kind of incorporate that all in one. I mean, so if you think about at the surface, when we have like precise GPS, our GPS, we have a correction service, so it's down to like 6 centimeters, we're
Yeah.
accurate. We haven't historically had that type of accuracy subsea, so then sure, the sensor is collecting great data, but it's warbled and over time and space because of poor navigation capabilities. But slowly, things have gotten better, and then K2 has done a lot of work. Chris Krasnowski has done a lot of work to kind of integrate those systems. So the Norbit itself is the sensor, and like this is what you get out of the box for that. That's this, right?
Oh yeah.
But for all the visualization that
Meaningless almost to me.
You need to place those points in space
yeah,
or know where the vehicle is,
Yes,
or at least have
So
a
that's
very
the
good
kind of
idea.
the cool piece, and how, like, especially probably this kind of live rendering, that must be relatively new too, compared to when.
With advanced GPUs, that's kind of made it all possible, like with all the amount of points and stuff.
yeah. I
That's
mean,
everything's
not
going
only
on.
are we just playing that, but like if we zoom in on Hercules here, you can see it pitch and roll in real time and heave.
Whoa.
Like that, it's a true model of Hercules, which is a bit extra in my opinion, but it can be helpful. But yeah, like if you have a keen eye, especially if we were moving around about, you can actually see it pitching and rolling and
Yeah,
everything.
there was a lot of work that had to be done by Chris to make, to get, well, you're getting 30 frames per second here, but there was a lot of tweaking and stuff, and had to lower the resolution of the model and add some drivers for the GPU, and because of just how much data is being processed, but then also like you're shifting views and everything's moving at the same time, so it's
Man, this has got to be, and I guess as in terms of how fast this stuff can get processed and like evaluated on board even, and then planning your next survey based on the results, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, I mean, with a map as clean as this, and I'm kind of noting now that a lot of that stuff we saw was near this
Event, yeah.
fluid, so it could be that that's just kind of you know, a side effect of it. But if I wasn't on watch, could theoretically go down, turn this over pretty quick, and then put it right on the base map for the ROVs to drive off of, and have a 3D map for the back row to play around in and figure out where they want to go pretty swiftly. And that's kind of the intent over that we're getting towards.
Yeah.
We normally sail with someone who's off watch who can be kind of doing that. But
Yeah, but this is like, even what you've got here with the little voxels or little points,
yeah,
that paints the picture. And if we were looking for anything like shopping cart size to investigate, like this will get us there, I'm pretty sure.
yeah,
yeah, it really pays off to take the time in the beginning rather
yeah.
than, you know, ending
Yeah,
up
this is
wasting time
crazy.
searching in the water column.
And we mentioned this kind of before, but like our operational flow, we're experimenting with adjusting it. So normally we would just dive to the lowest point of our dive and climb a ridge up to the top of, say it's a seamount or something, but we're exploring the value of dropping down closer to the top of that proposed
Yeah.
dive track and staying 30 meters off and just kind of orbiting our way down. And we've seen a lot of value in when we turn to head back up, we're following paths and micro features that are well beyond the resolution of what a shipboard multi-beam would be,
Exactly, yeah.
that we wouldn't have seen. We would have, we could be missing.
You could have spent like 10% of your time looking at the interesting stuff, and now you're saying,
Yeah.
you do this for an hour and you spend 90% of your time looking at interesting things.
Yeah, absolutely. So that it's kind of a bit of a cost, but for the value of what you get. And then if you're searching for something, it's just totally invaluable.
And then also being able to look back at that map and
then we just have it, and ROV can drive right up.
real time.
Yeah, because this is incredible. Even like what's being produced on this little interim map is so useful.
So the next step, really mentioning that, how critical the navigation factor is. So for example, we haven't done a patch test with this. It's that's a little bit beyond the resolution of what we can get navigation wise, but what is going to take it to the next level is an inertial navigation system on the ROV incorporated with the USBL and the DVL, all as this one kind of, this is where you are.
Oh, there's an interesting little blip on the left there.
Yeah.
There's your shopping cart.
Could be a little pock mark.
Yeah, a little hole.
Yeah.
Is that, well, that's really cool. I've never really had this kind of feature on an ROV on any of the cruises I've been on, and knowing this, you could save so much time just by everyone being on the same page on what's going on. That's a really interesting hole. Is that on? Yeah, is that a drill hole?
I could mark it. Also, there seems to be some linear feature here.
Yeah,
right, so that is...
Because there is a drill hole sort of in that neighborhood.
Yeah, and what's your diameter of that hole, if you can measure it?
Sure.
So we have
about the size of the vehicle.
Yeah.
We have about 60
couple meters.
Couple meters, yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
60 hours of imagenics multi-beam data from laying the cables. But the issue with that was you used it basically real time. You said, okay, there's a bunch of rocks over here, and you wrote it down. That sort of thing. But the imagenics data is there, and it's from a tethered system, so and you can you see a lot of the surface waves going as it goes by. But there would be you could probably clean that data up to make little swaths going right across but it'd be a ton of work, or have some sort of software that does it for you. But the software wasn't in existence basically back then to put together as the altitude, the depth, and then the accelerometers that you can pull out the heave. So the heave's not in there, right? And we know that the ROV is going up and down like a sinusoid, but you don't see the heave on here at all.
Yeah, the heave's can be one of the more difficult ones to compensate for. Like you can see here, this is what I'm talking about. We're kind of like at the edge of a swath here, and you can see there's a minor offset. A lot of that is just the fuzz that you get from sound velocity issues and just sensor limitations, but some of that could be caused by our, not having a
so yeah, you sort of see heave or a cyclical roll kind of thing.
Yeah, and so that can be edited out if you have a proper patch test. It just takes a bit of time, and it's
what is a
versus what you
patch
get.
Test?
It's just common for any multi-beam system, and you're just kind of calibrating any pitch roll heading offsets you have associated with the mounting of it. So where it is kind of in relation to whatever origin point and your navigational sensors, so how the mounting is. So if it's, a couple degrees off and, let's say in the roll direction, there's ways that you can run a pattern that you can then calibrate and kind of set an offset to, okay, it's actually mounted slightly offset on the vehicle in the roll direction or in the pitch direction, and then, or heading, and kind of account for those. But again, those are it's really hard to tease that out, and possibly not even valuable until you have inertial, because navigation is really what's driving this this possibility.
Oh, so you can
Looks
see
like another pockmark coming up.
Yeah, but that looks like it's 858A.
Where are you looking? This here?
Yeah, like if you could zoom out on our map from and kind of put it in a bit of a north-south.
Well, there might be. Let me look at this other map.
Yeah, there's
that has more of the.
Yeah, this new one. You can see two new ones, right? And that's probably
But look,
1036 and 858A that we're seeing on the
It's
seafloor
like
there.
40. I'm just gonna mark that on the high pack. I'm just marking little breadcrumbs.
Yeah, that all checks out. Wow, that's crazy. And it's fairly clear too. Like you're getting 100-meter or 200-meter swath width right now, and you're seeing the little pock marks or not pock marks. Maybe I'm not using the wrong word, but holes.
can't tell from here which one is A and which one is C, but
It's
there's
kind of
definitely.
this. I think lines it out.
Let me look at this other map.
Are you 1036 or which one are you?
Huh? No,
Oh, there's been
858. Yeah. Right. So.
A is this one, top one, and C is down below.
But which star on here is A?
A is this one, that one.
You think?
I think so. Which is this one up here. C is down here. So C.
A, C.
And then, yeah, it's kind of confusing
Then
how they
B.
labeled it. Yeah.
Let me bring up this other one.
B,
Wow.
that's actually labeled differently than this paper map, which puts B north of C.
Where's B?
Up here.
No,
oh,
that's
no, that's
1036.
There
There's
B is down here.
858
Okay,
B.
gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right on.
Yeah.
What's that one called again? Chowder.
One thing you said back there that was interesting was talking about the visualization and processing. I was talking with Larry Mayer, who's the lead at Center for Coastal and Ocean Mapping at UNH, and he was talking about kind of taking some of that, you know, classified data from like original multi-beam Navy stuff, you know, in the, what was it, 80s or something like that, and being able to now visualize it in modern software. It's like it was all there. It was all.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
it looks like normal data that you would bring in to edit. So the data was never really the problem. It's the
It's the
visualization
processing.
yeah.
Is it a little bit like optics then, where it's the transducers are the data from the transducers are really good. It's our ability to process it that's improved.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Right.
that's a large portion of it, and then the subsequent kind of visualization of it, and then another layer of that is the time it takes to do all that has vastly shortened. We still have like this. There's some stuff in here just because of how different these vent features are. I might not want to run a filter. It might remove some of the things that I want. And then what we were seeing the other day with that plume fluid kind of lighting up a whole other layer, there's not really a good way to filter that out with a math or what have you, just because it's creating two planes and it doesn't know confidently which one's which. So that you do have still have a bit of manual editing, especially in something that kind of stark with having two surfaces.
It's going to be pretty cool once we're on this one here, this mount, to check out what all those little ridge marks are, kind of on that second mound we saw.
We should note also when we're coming up to it to see just the differences in backscatter, to see how hard it is compared to the surrounding ground. That'd be interesting, because I think we were noting that with the vents, but I just wasn't paying super close attention to it.
I actually had a question about that too. So like being able to age off of the hardness, is that just effectively a measurement of how much sediment has built up? Is that what's
It's doing that thing again.
altering the backscatter intensity, or is it
never mind.
actually a different hardness of assault over time?
All right, anyone want to take a stab at that one?
Well, here would be just sediment, but
Gotcha.
but I don't know whether it's what is it, 400 kilohertz, Rennie?
This is 400 currently, yeah.
So that's pretty high. So that would be straight. Anything really hard, it reflects off. It doesn't really go deep into it.
Yeah.
You know, use the low frequency stuff to get down below the surface. So I don't know whether I'm sure there's ways to say, okay, that's a basalt and this is a different type of rock. But even with that,
Right. But my good pal Katie mentioned earlier that they could tell old lava versus new.
Yeah, I guess, yeah, that would be.
So this is
Well,
good. Yeah, if it's
got no
sediment,
sediment on it, it's brand new. There's a bunch, yeah, use every clue you can get at. That's what I'm saying. It's not clear. It doesn't come up, oh, that's definitely granite and this is basalt.
Yeah,
I don't know how. And at 400 kilohertz, that's, yeah, it's pretty high frequency.
Yeah.
So usually you get
You're saying
a
something
hard
wrong.
hard reflection and a really weak reflection in the back. Where the low frequencies, you get a first reflection and you can see down below.
Yeah.
And you can say, oh, but that must be basalt because it's sitting on top of something harder. I don't know. But I think, yeah, they try to use like echo sounders on boats and stuff like that to get a rough idea of whether you're over sand or mud or gravel.
Yep.
And again, it's a little bit of empirical kind of thing.
We're starting to
It
see
should look
them
like
now.
this.
Very-
You
Yeah,
sample
so
it,
this-
you know, you line it up, say it must be gravel,
Yeah.
rather than a clear story in the back.
The one now we're starting to see more the needle vents kind of area off to the right.
It's 80 meters out. Mark that.
Heineken Hollow. I wonder if that's something related to the beer bottles.
It didn't look like a Heineken beer bottle. It was a long neck. So when did long necks get in?
I don't know. 90s? No, I'm not sure.
I think it was a little earlier than that. It wasn't a stubby.
Maybe it just tastes bad.
Oh, that's kind of cool. What's that? That's previous.
So this is from a publication from ODP
Oh, wow.
when they're, so this has got some of the,
So what kind of data is that pulled from? Just like,
let's see, so this is the map we've been referencing.
yeah.
This one is side scan.
Oh, they side scanned it. Okay.
And then sort of patched it together.
Yep.
Bit of a mosaic of it. So there's dead dog,
But I think even the side
Bent
scan
Hill.
stuff is
But
old.
this is like, you know, this is quite a distance between dead dog and Bent Hill. So I think this is just the overall field. So we don't really see.
They were just like huge side
Yeah,
scan.
right. So here, this is a 5 kilometer scale.
Like 2 kilometer swaths or something on the side scan there.
And so here we've got some seismic.
This must be the CTD stuff.
Oh, this is where they took the seismic lines, I think.
No, but to get that, those kind of gradient maps like you see there, I wonder if that's
Oh, but these
casts or
the
something.
lines. And then,
I wonder how they collected that data
so
there.
this is side scan
Oh, that's the stitching.
of dead dog field.
Oh, it's pretty good.
And then, so this is for site 858, but they,
Yeah.
okay, and so here would be 858A, C, B, kind of like what we have on the paper map, right?
Yeah, I don't know if we've...
I'm just looking to see if there is anything drilled further west of here, just sort of based on the pockmarks we were seeing.
Let's see. I think we never saw that really deep one. You know, the one that was kind of over here. There's one here.
The pockmark, you mean?
Yeah, that
that's
big
what I
one.
was looking for, to see if there was a,
I feel like we did see A.
yeah, I agree.
I don't think we saw the other one that...
I only found leg 139 and leg 169 to come here. They did 139 was really that's the 800 8 plus,
Yeah.
and they were really happy with what they got out of there, and they came back.
Yeah,
for
I'm
169,
looking at a publication from leg 169 right now.
right. And the stuff in that document, it was just me pulling out whatever I saw that could be useful for us.
All these targets I'm dropping will be useless if we throw a map over. It's like, oh, just see them. But for now, if we don't have time to turn it over quickly, then at least we'll have these Norbit targets.
So Megan, last you checked the weather, we were looking at on deck at 3. Is that the kind of the timeline that we have? Ish?
I think,
How much farther in this?
I mean, it looks okay for a bit,
Ship
but
still has 100.
now that it's pushing, what I've been looking at
Yeah.
is, you know, can we leave here, get to Clayquat and get a dive in before we
Tomorrow,
can't.
meters?
Kind of like 4 a.m.
Yeah,
100,
And how
200
that's
meters?
like an 8 hour.
about 7.
7?
Yeah.
I'm not used to. I'm just going by the map. I'm not used to
2.
judging time from Middle Valley.
No, I
Never
had to do
that,
a bunch
yeah.
of homework before this. Yeah.
Just guessing. I know it's
Yeah.
like what
So
endeavor.
I don't know. Right now, it looks kind of iffy that we would be able to do that.
Oh, so we
unless
might
we-
end up being
unless-
here longer.
Well, unless we're here not as long, and then try and get this in. So I was looking at the.
But at the rate that I'm looking at the weather right now, that might just it all
I know
just
it
might
keeps
diminish.
pushing and pushing and
Just
pushing.
might diminish
Yeah.
altogether, right? Because it's come down a little bit.
Yeah. So
How about
I don't
Bart?
know. Take a look at the 2 Clayquat dives and
Okay.
take a guess at how long they'll take.
You get in here for a little
Yeah,
bit?
they're pretty short,
What do you mean text
Well,
except for the 2-wire.
the
What's
bullseye
this?
is not super short.
Octomapper 193. Which one's that? That's just a visualization, I think. Which one's
It
that?
might be the voxel.
Oh yeah. Well,
Did we? So when you mean the 2, that means we scrapped one of the
The
autonomous
voxel
tons?
generator.
The autonomous.
so are those gone?
logger?
Gone? I could try those cubes,
Yeah.
or just restart the viz.
If you go back to there,
Where?
this one.
Here.
Yeah, the launcher. So
If I do that, will I
if you
ever get them
put
back?
your mouse over the green button.
Yeah. Says it's alive.
That's just RViz, and then check that one. See
all alive.
which one died. Check the perception. It might be in perception. No.
Perception is Norbit. It would be. I
Or
think
is it
it's
in
at
the record?
viz.
Is it in the record
I
log?
think it's viz. What do I do to get which one? No,
Oh,
they're all alive.
Octomapper, they're all alive.
Oh, Octomapper 1, was it 163? What was the message? I think it was 1.
Yeah, it was Octo.
Maybe it was in the record.
Well, I think they're set to automatically restart. So what
Okay.
probably happened is those points that we had now are gone, and now it's
Are they gone? That's
like in the RViz. Yeah, I
that's
think.
unfortunate.
Yeah, it is unfortunate
Yeah.
because now we can't see
Yeah.
our track. Well, we can see on here, but we can
Oh.
estimate 200 meter swath.
Let me just restart RViz.
Oh yeah, I see it.
Because if
You're
they're
muted,
not
though.
there anyway.
Yep.
Rennie, can you try and mark that pillar we're seeing off the right? Kind of if you look there. Do you think that's an
Yeah.
artifact or is that a?
Hard to say.
I would
but
never. We're gonna pass over it again though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Let's just leave it.
Yeah. Well, we lost our
History.
history grid, so we're trying to see if we can get that back. Oh, we
Oh,
got some
it's
of
loaded.
it,
There
all
it
of it.
is.
Yeah.
All of it. Nice.
Sweet.
That's the cubes. Maybe we'll try the cubes for a bit. No, that looks like,
That's
yeah,
it.
that's the cubes.
We don't mind cubes.
All right, we'll go with cubes. Just looking at it, I mean, we can discuss because we've got a bit of
They
time.
probably want to come down nowish, right? Or no? Never mind.
Yeah, I don't. I want the points back. Can't do it without the points.
Because we want this kind of pizza slice part of the
Yeah, so we're still,
Get over a little bit
let's
more.
see, go back to high pack. So what we were saying was Dead Dog, which we think is Chowder Hill now. We are 330 meters north of that, almost due north.
Okay.
Yeah, does that make sense? Let me go back to Norbit. Yeah, something like that.
So it might still be some interesting stuff actually coming up over by the Heineken Hollow kind of thing.
And where's my little measurement tool? It's supposed to know
Because
what.
Heineken Hollow should be 500 meters north.
Yeah, all that stuff we're not quite at yet. I think we're, yeah, I mean, you can rough it out back there, but it maybe halfway.
But it
Halfway
really
up
looks
the
this
snap.
kind of needle vents. Seems like you can almost clearly see it on the multi-beam. I think that's the stuff you're seeing right
Could
there.
be, yeah, it'll be interesting to go.
I don't know what it's just labeled needle vents. I don't know what that is.
Yeah, this could
I'm
be a
picturing
sonar
like
artifact, just like
sonar or like sonar,
Yeah, really,
some like pillory,
really
spiky.
skinny spires.
Yeah, go close and then they fall over, kind of
Yeah,
spire.
hard to say. Hard to say from the data whether or not that's the stuff on top
Seems
is
like
real
these
or
vents
not.
are pretty delicate
Yeah.
overall.
So, I mean, just based on the shape of it, and we can decide, but to start the conversation, it kind of seems like rather than go straight south, back down to the air, let me orient this like north up.
Yeah.
It might be beneficial to come over and just do
An angle.
come back down the same angle we're
Oh, yeah.
driving. And then we'll overshoot it a bit. And if you wanted to sample at the other vent that you didn't sample, that's pretty clear that there'd be venting there, but
With that, would we get, because there's some stuff that doesn't look like it's fully mapped just to
On the
the east and
southeast?
southeast
Yeah.
of the,
This here?
what we're thinking,
Yeah.
yeah.
yeah, I mean, that's up to you.
I think we should try and get that.
Yeah,
We can kind of split the difference come here. I mean, we're gonna pay a price no matter what we do.
Yeah, we're gonna
There'll
pay
be a
that corner.
gap here, or which
well, let's not leave a gap right there, because there's,
we know there's something.
yeah.
Where was the original multi-beam taken on our pass over? Because they were collecting data as well for that, right? Was
Yeah,
it?
but they stopped like out here.
Oh, they did stop. Okay.
Yeah.
We stopped pretty well where you guys started.
So is there going to be overlap if we stitch it all together or not?
Might
I don't
be.
know where they
No,
stopped.
It's pretty close.
Here, Dirk. This
Oh.
is where they stopped, here.
Oh, very close, but yeah, it doesn't look like.
But
It
it's
looks
not,
like right as you got
yeah, it
arrived.
doesn't look like it would
cold.
cover that
So we saw there was a
bottom
big giant
southeast corner.
Chowder Hill. That was not Chowder Hill, right in it, right where it's supposed to be.
Yeah, you stopped it and then you'd like dove down and got your gas tight, right?
Right, we dove
Yeah.
down and went over to Chowder Hill, and
Yeah.
it wasn't Chowder Hill. So then we went looking for Chowder Hill, and we found Dead Dog.
Well,
No, we
went
found
looking
Chowder Hill, and we thought it was Dead Dog. Yeah, we were lost.
Sometimes you find what you're looking for.
Yeah, when you're not, well,
But you found a lot of buckets.
we found a lot of buckets. We were trying to figure out what they use buckets for.
Jake.
Sometimes I lose my keys and then I find my phone.
Find all kinds of stuff.
I just sort of tie all that stuff to me.
Just keep it all lashed,
You're like
zip ties.
Remember the little kids where your mittens
Yeah,
would have
idiot
like the
mittens.
string going behind your
Yeah,
back? and
idiot
your-
mittens. I used to have those, yes.
Now you have it for your glasses and your phone,
Everything.
your keys, everything's just kind of,
It's like
you've got
those
loops off of all your
those
shirts.
fly fisherman little
Yeah.
zing retractable little vests.
Yeah, you need a vest with like Velcro all over it and everything just
Little
sticks.
spots, but yeah, Velcro.
Compromise zip ties. That's what you want.
No, but then you take it off and then it's lost
Oh, yeah.
forever.
Then you lose that.
Yeah.
Just follow the zip tie trail.
Well, you just make sure your
You
phone
need
is
like a retractable cord.
Yeah, that's like everything those fly fishermen always have, like little snips and pliers and everything on the cord. That used to be me.
I rig something like that up. If you ever have to go up to up the mast or something like that on your boat, you're always like, you're really worried about dropping anything because then you have to come back down, and that's like, yeah, it's murder. To go back up.
How do you get to the top, Steve, of your mast? I've never climbed my mast before.
I've got this ridiculous thing called a top climber,
What's
which
that?
means it's got two ratcheting that you put it on your main sheet. You tie your main sheet off pretty solid, and then you shimmy up the line.
Oh,
So you pull it up
on like a bosun's chair as well or not?
on a bosun chair. And
Yeah.
you stretch out, and then you can use your leg.
Like an inchworm all the way up to the top.
Yeah. It's just like when we recovered that first mooring, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Same deal.
Pick, pick.
But you're doing the picking, and
Yeah.
it's just takes me about a half hour, and I'm exhausted, and I've forgotten everything.
Oh, and then you forgot your wrench.
Usually I always bring like a rope up with me with a bag and make sure there's somebody down there to put the stuff in.
Yeah,
So I
or
forgot.
just make sure you tie a second rope to like your toolbox that you leave on the deck. And then if you need something, you pull the whole toolbox up as opposed to crawling down.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got to do that. My anchor light's toast. But I feel like they're always toast. The mast mounted.
Mine is like, must be 30 years old.
And it's still working?
It's still working. It's
Crazy. That's incredible. Yeah, I don't think I've ever had a boat with a working mast light or a
my mast
depth
light
sounder.
My mast light dies all the time. I don't know why. It's got.
Yeah, sorry, anchor light. I just have the little battery power that I pull up with one of the halyards when I'm at anchor.
I find that the LEDs are more problematic because they don't draw any current, so that any kind of like dirt or corrosion immediately stops.
Yeah. So the bulbs are lasting, or
The bulbs last.
Yeah, they last, but the
Because
electronics are fading
yeah,
away.
because you get corrosion on it, and it only takes so little energy that it doesn't go across those.
And the wires are so tiny,
Yeah.
so any corrosion it's gone with the old
gone.
copper. It's like there's a massive amount of copper there. It's gonna corrode all the way.
Blast right through any kind of corrosion.
Yeah.
It'll jump across the.
Yeah. So much power. Yeah, it is funny. Like these old boats from the 80s, all the old incandescent, everything still works, and you start swapping it with all the modern stuff, and
They stop working.
they stop working just randomly.
Hey, Rennie, can you zoom out on the
Sure.
overall thing, just for context?
Yeah,
Okay.
so that's roughly
Yeah, we're
north-south
getting there.
Yeah. Because it's starting to look bumpy again.
Yeah.
You can zoom back in if you need.
That's okay. I'm
Yeah,
trying
we should be coming up on kind of a plateau looking thing.
Yeah, you can see the bump
Yeah.
right there.
Steve, do you know what Heineken Hollow is?
No. A hollow
That's an
where there's.
acceptable answer.
Oh, you're resorting to my answers, Steve?
I have
No.
no idea. It's just it's.
But it's because everything else seems like it says vent, if it's a vent, or hill or mound.
I can't prove
So what-
it. I can't
What
prove
would the
it.
hollow be?
I can't prove it, but those triangles I think are samples taken, vent samples, like gas tights. But I
Oh no,
can't.
triangle based on the
That means active
legend is
vents.
active vent.
Is that what it says somewhere?
Yeah,
right
the
at
very
the top,
top,
Legend
right.
at the top.
Yeah.
That's kind of
Oh.
cool. That
I
means
was like,
there's-
surely they have a legend on this map.
yeah, there seems to be a lot of active vents down there. Oh, guys. There's even a row post vent.
So Heineken Hollow would be an active vent,
Yeah,
or a couple maybe.
2 of them. Must have been quite different when this used to be done with the Elven dives.
Yeah.
I bet you it was launch and recovery and the whole process was, and while the ROV dive is going on, or the Elvin dive, must have been a little more stressful, a little more procedure, a little more.
Tension of that sounds awful.
Yeah.
In the communication is like that old school like acoustic communication, so everything's like echo. It's like really weird sounding.
Yeah.
You talk to them on a radio, but it takes a while for them to hear it, and it's got all the trailing. They used to have them on movies all the time.
That must have been totally different, eh?
I
Doing
mean,
it that way.
Thinking about think your old geo days where you were mapping out in the field, right? Like we weren't drinking coffee and checking email in the background, right? Chit chat.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just crazy.
No, they were serious about it. Well, it was life.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
and that's kind of what I mean. That must have been so much more stressful.
Like I was just contemplating if I should just go downstairs and make another coffee.
Yeah.
That's not.
That's stressful.
Yeah, that's.
Oh, on
it's
this
it's
show.
like, you know, should I have a,
Right now.
are you
Yeah,
gonna,
I mean-
what do you think? Are you gonna have a cappuccino or just a
right?
straight?
Like,
How strong is it going to be? Is there
Lunch
any-
is coming up, so that's
Is there
gonna
any
be
milk
good.
left?
yeah, technology is just amazing.
Well, but like your pre-dive checks and stuff, it's
Yeah.
a little bit more meaningful, right? There's a
Yeah.
little more.
No, and
Oh, didn't check that thruster. Should have.
and it's like it's a lot like what was it like? The pilots had special little wings on and stuff like that, and they were like revered, kind of
Yeah.
walked around just like with the big glasses on, and you know.
Well, 100%. Imagine your launch and recovery too. It's like it's a different thing.
But they were
When there's
hot
people,
shots. They're like
yeah.
Maverick kind of thing. It was like,
Maverick of science.
yeah. Well, they were pilots. They weren't scientists. They were.
Oh, they weren't.
Navy-
The scientists
Navy
weren't
pilots.
necessarily the pilots.
That's right. No, they were never the. The pilots were the
Very, very
pilots.
rarely, yeah.
Okay.
And yeah.
No, I'm happy.
Now we
To just be doing
have
it this way.
front row of 4
Same.
people. There was one pilot on there, right? And he had to make sure everything happened.
I wonder, do you think it was common for scientists to not want to go in Elvin for their own sets, or send someone else, a proxy?
Well, that's how I got to go.
Oh, you went.
I didn't go on. I went on a cruise for a month.
Yeah.
Third person to dive, like they list, okay, first guy gets to go down, the second guy gets to go down, I'm the third guy to go down, and of course the first 2 got down for a month of diving, a month of waiting.
So you
So-
didn't go, you didn't
No,
go
I
down?
didn't.
Oh,
So
Martin-
geez.
Martin did.
Why not? Like, how does that work?
Bad weather,
Ran out of time.
September.
Yeah.
So
Bad
we had
weather.
an ROV, so we just launched the ROV. They weren't going to go. They have to launch with swimmers in the water, right? So they.
Oh, so you didn't go by the 2 meter, 20 knots kind of rule of thumb?
No, it was like the pilots weren't that brave.
Kate dove on Alvin.
Really?
Yep.
There is no chance that I would do it.
No, Martin did. I wouldn't expect him to.
Martin
be,
Sherwood?
yeah,
or he's
no,
been?
he's been
Oh, really?
at Costa Rica Trench on 16. I don't know which.
That's a whole
So
nother
it's
level of
visualization
adventure. I don't know.
I
That's too
was
much.
in. I prepped and was ready to go. I mean, I was peeing and I was making sure I was clean of any kind of. Ready to go.
I like my adventures
I
to
don't know,
have
do
lots
the
of
boxes
air.
show anything?
Yeah.
different?
I
Yeah.
wouldn't say no, but I'm certainly not stepping up. Like if it was handed to me, I would have to get in.
Even just talking about it, my hands are sweating a little bit.
I would 100%.
I would do it if it was like in 10 meters of
100%.
water. If something
Yeah,
goes
I'm not
south,
sure.
you know the same
It's weird.
diver that's at the surface just swims down and gets you. That must be terrifying. Like, if something happens at the surface, you're
But-
going down nonetheless. Oof.
If you go on a cruise, you know, you don't think that through. It's just when it's about
Well, you know.
ready to happen, and you can't back out then.
Oh no! Once you're on that cruise, you got to go. There's no like chickening out last
Yeah,
minute.
exactly. So it was like, I'm going.
You got to
yeah.
chicken in.
Then I started thinking about it, saying, oh, this is not that fun. You get into the space, and it's not that big.
But they do. They
Yeah,
do
and
like a
I'm
little-
assuming it's gonna be all old and like an old aircraft looking on the inside, not brand new shiny. It's gonna be like
No, it's
worn
worse.
from the
It's
people
worse.
rubbing their
There's-
palms on the
There's no seats or anything like that. You sit on you're in a ball, right?
Yeah.
Sure, you want
You got to get into the right
yeah,
position to be
pilot has the only
comfortable.
real seat, yeah.
Wow. No. Nope. I mean, I have a hard time signing up for like an 8-hour shift in this chair.
I know, I was like,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's like,
this chair,
My
it's
back
not
hurts,
adjusting
yeah.
properly.
yeah.
Why
Walk
why won't it
around.
go down?
Yeah,
Oh no.
I consider myself to like adventure, but that's adrenaline. There's a difference between adrenaline and adventure.
This is real team glamp out here. Like no real brave.
Yeah, take the
outdoorsman,
little cable
outdoorswoman.
cart to the top of the mountain to go check out the view. Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah.
All right, back row. So we are
Oh, sorry.
finishing our Atalanta swing to its final position.
Okay.
If we want to come back down, I'm going to overshoot just slightly to like, I think the extent of our starboard swath is about 90 meters.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm going to go to like at least 110 and we'll see what that looks like.
Yeah.
And then ride the 180 strike
It
or
makes
the
sense. Yeah.
reciprocal strike down.
Sure.
So we'll
That
get
sounds good.
coverage here. I'm a little concerned about these little dropouts. I think it might just be in the visualization, but if it's in the data, that will be unfortunate. But it is what it is. And then,
Just backfill. Flat.
yeah, we'll come back and we'll overshoot this vent at least,
Yeah.
and then we'll make a decision on gas tighting somewhere or trying to cover more.
Right.
Okay. All right. So Dan, I'm going to move the ship bearing 120, 110 meters, and we'll get set up for this line going this way. Bridge nav.
Okay.
Can we step 110 meters, 110 meters, bearing 120? Thank you.
You stopped your recording there?
Yeah, I'll do that 1 second. For the heading change, I'll turn it back on just so we collect that, but it'll be chunked. So thank you for the reminder. I don't know why it takes so long to recognize that it stopped. But okay, you are free to change heading.
Roger.
Amber, have you done anything like that before? Have you like scuba dived? I don't know what like the
Scuba
nearest
diving, yeah.
analog is. Okay.
I haven't done a submarine yet.
Yeah. I feel like a media sub, I would be much more compelled to do than an Alvin. Like I don't want to be thousands
My
of
worry
meters.
would be getting a little seasick.
Yeah.
Because I've heard that it can be a little in there. And then unfortunately, there's
Yeah,
nowhere
yeah,
to
yeah.
go to have that
I'm
problem.
not doing a slow turn or anything, right?
I think
Just getting set up
I think
for
with
the next
Alvin
line.
you have to like
Yeah,
do
that's fine. We don't think
prelim,
we need all this up
right?
here.
It's not like
so.
you find out the hard way. Like you
Run
do
over
like
the
a
end
few
of the
test
line and
runs,
then-
right?
Yeah,
I don't
it
know.
would be
Turn
really
and get set
exciting.
up for the next one.
Like I said, I wouldn't say no.
There's not really a lot out here.
Wouldn't chase
so.
it though.
We're gonna do
Well,
another line
have you
on
sailed
the way
with
back.
Robert?
Yeah, we're gonna
What was
come.
Have you sailed with Robert?
South this
he is a
direction.
pilot here, but also pilots Alvin.
Oh,
Stand
really?
by.
Yeah.
No, I didn't know. Oof.
How far do you want the offset?
110 from where you were.
Roger.
I can give you a rough target.
You fall asleep?
I could put an auto XI for 110.
Yeah, might as well just to collect something. Where is our 110?
Do you want your delta at 24?
Yeah, I think so. Actually, it could be 0.
Roughly there.
All right, I'll back up or I just start it from here if you want to record.
Yeah, I know. Hey, normally it's been really warm in here, but it's been cool.
Okay, let me know when you are...
I can't do a whole lot anyways until Atalanta.
Yeah, Atalanta's not going to move.
It'll
Grab
be a
jacket.
drag
I'll be right back.
sideways anyway.
Rennie,
So
you're aware of where... You don't need me for anything in the next couple minutes or
No,
10
all
minutes or
good.
so?
Yeah.
Okay.
Science seems not cut out for Alvin.
Actually, if you want a good line, I would scoot south. Do you want
Yeah,
a good
and
line?
the heading would be 120.
I'll do that. Then we could spin around and actually watch our tether. We need a good, better tail cam on Atalanta.
Yeah. That's probably okay on the southern extent.
Roger.
And then, yeah, heading 120, and then we'll...
Heading 120. Hey, what's happening here? You might have enough to spin around there, Allison, or either spin around or go tail to tail, one or the other.
I think about that in the context of
Which way you want me to come?
the amount of data old
choice.
papers or
I
like
probably
graduate theses have in them.
Shortest way
And it's
around.
like, oh, it's because it took so much to get the data versus now. If you look at like an old astronomy paper, it's like, I found a star, right? It's like, whoa, cool. Like a telescope finds hundreds of thousands of those a day now, right? But
Yeah, it seems like data was even more precious back then.
yeah, yeah.
We have so much we just like throw away now.
Right, right.
But, which is like a problem and a luxury in and of itself, right? Like, then you have to manage all this data and like think about it in those ways.
We're
Yeah, yeah.
20 meters away.
Like
Yeah, I should be able
buried
to
in
spin
the-
around and see.
Interpreting that much data and being asked to process and explain that much more, right?
Yeah, but
Okay, I'll start the recording again. This will
Right.
just be our step over to the beginning of the line.
It's going to be a 100-meter move, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Take Scott Auto XY all dialed in here.
how long would you say roughly that we were at pause for, Rennie?
I'll wait till
If you had to guess.
How long were we paused?
Yeah.
Just a few minutes there.
Okay.
All this, I mean, all the stop and starts is in the metadata, everything.
Okay.
Yeah, we had a long conversation about that last year with the multi-beam and the logging of lines and stuff. It's kind of, it's all there.
Yeah, I heard that was a more painstaking process for our team last year.
Okay, Steph, here we go. Start of, what do you want to call this? Crossline? Crossover?
Is this a new survey?
No, it's the same survey. We're
Oh,
just
okay.
stepping over one line. So, and this can,
It's going to be a 100-meter move, so
yeah.
what I've done is adjusted my heading 90 degrees to the right of the first line we did, and then we'll just record while we're going southeast.
Yep.
Yeah,
And here we go, step.
Might as well look at it from this way.
it's a little
100
tricky to kind
meters.
of log how we're doing this, like with the stop and start. So I think I'm just going to keep it as one continual one. And
I think it's easier, yeah, to just
Yeah.
have one survey. The stopping and starting of lines, this is what we talked about last year, is kind of like with the multi-beam data, either shipboard or down, like that metadata exists. And trying to add a human element of when you're stopping and starting it is going to be a slightly off time, and it doesn't.
yeah, I just kind of
Really?
put a note in our logs that there's been some small stop and
Yeah.
starts.
So you would normally just record the whole mess in one big file?
No, just for the purposes of, like, they're logging, like, when did we do a survey, but
All right.
the logging of the files actually is even going to be different from the lines that we flew, because they're truncating at certain data file size as well, so you can't really nail that either. I think start and end of survey is more than enough, and then we have a representation of that survey that from all the files that we can then, it'd be easy to find what that was.
There's
Yeah,
some
great.
big
That makes my
gaps
life
there in
easier.
the,
This over here?
no, those long.
Yeah, so we're not sure if that's, there was a moment where it said it was, that the right around here, it said that the one of the viz crashed, and so I'm hoping that these breaks
they're
are
just
visualization.
artifacts in our viz, yeah.
It would be unfortunate if they're data, but I can't imagine what would cause that.
And probably just that, so that our viz,
Yeah.
that's Ross visualizer that we're using. This is
Yeah.
a model, is all it is. It struggles on the computer it's running on. It's got a lot going on there.
Yeah. So
Did you
top
have,
down.
when you were doing the northeast line, did you have Atlanta perfectly behind?
Just about, yeah.
And then, I don't know who's on watch now, Martina. We got Oriole sorted out. We actually drew him a line and told him to
Stay on that line, yeah.
Well, to put Atalanta on that line. So do whatever he needs to do with the ship. We want Atalanta on this line.
This, we had enough play. I mean, that was only, it wasn't as long as the line that you guys did the other night.
Right.
So.
But he nailed it, and it definitely made a difference because we weren't then having Atalanta sideways in the current.
Sure.
And so we had, you know, the tether and Hercules. We had Hercules, Atalanta, and Nautilus all in a straight line, so all the stuff's going through the water the same way instead of sideways. Just the drag on Herc's tail is.
Yeah.
And if you watch if you zoom in on the velocity arrows there, or just watch your heading wagon here.
Yeah, whatever Jake did for the velocities, whatever he dialed in, or you guys dialed in last night, has been pretty good.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of heave, which is great.
We basically set it up so he could see the velocities and like half the data, and he played with the PID loops and
yeah,
velocities.
seems to have really honed that in.
Which we then captured, and hopefully he'll feed you that data and you can put it in as a kind of a baseline.
Yeah, we talked about putting that in this documentation so we can kind of, so no matter who the pilot is, we can have them set that.
Yeah, because the different pilots will play with the velocities and the PID loops.
Yeah.
Especially the engineering types, they like to. But that's applicable, so for different scenarios, you know, like a video survey, we have different settings.
Sure. Just for context here, these are the two vents. We sampled this one, thought it was Dead Dog, but it appears that it's actually Chowder Hill and Dead Dog is this one.
We finally figure out where we are.
Yeah.
Rennie, it looks like your dead lines are gone.
What lines?
Those, you know, those black gaps?
Oh, did they disappear? It only started up here, actually. That's why. So I think it's a visualization thing.
Yeah, if you zoom out, they kind of go away.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, if we zoom out, it's great.
Just keep zooming further out.
We're going to zoom out anyways. So you made did you do the sweep there the same way? So we set the Z to like 0.1 and gave it 50% joy gain. And
yeah, I'm not sure what he had set up over there.
Yeah, so that's kind of the technique. If you set the heading velocity to 0.1 and then give about 50% joy gain, and then the Hercules turn rate in auto is a second hand, makes it look fast.
Yeah, whatever he did here was pretty decent. I mean, there's like waves, but not really significant compared to a faster turn, you know.
Yeah, compared to the one I did.
On Rennie, if you look at the sketch or the drawing,
do
you think that's the ridge we're seeing, you know, there's that clear just by, there's that clear ridge kind of at the top that
This
runs
here?
kind of east-west on your,
This?
yeah. No, if you look on the map, like the
Oh,
paper,
the map.
just below where it says Heineken Hollow. See, there's those two contour lines. Like, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I see what you're
Is
saying.
that,
That
do you think that's what we're seeing in the north part of your map there?
it's hard to say how far we are.
So Rennie is neurotic. He's scrolling and panning and tilting even when he's talking to the back row.
I'm looking at this and this.
Stop it. You're going to cut
Like,
your mouse cord
I
off.
think that's what we're seeing kind of where your cursor is right now, just to the left of there. That.
This here?
Do you think that's what that contour
I
is?
don't know. I'm not sure.
Right? Like, it's kind of seems right.
I mean, I could measure it out.
I don't know.
I don't see it up further north.
Yeah, but we definitely made it to the interesting part, so I want to confirm. And I think that that is that contour, or we can kind of see it, but...
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Okay.
Be easier to see once we map it out and actually place a contour on it.
Yeah,
Like
it's got to
this
be
here.
the ridge, yeah. That has
Could
to be
be,
it.
yeah.
I just want to confirm kind of that we've made it far enough north.
Yeah, well, we can measure. Let's see.
Yeah, let's measure just to be sure, but it
Ah,
looks like
I'm
it.
sleeping on the job over here.
Yeah, are you directly underneath or where are you?
Okay,
Yeah,
he'll
I'm
come.
sorry. I'm watching
Watching me play with the thing.
watching Rennie play with his mouse.
All right, let's see. So
That looks right,
our northern
I just need
extent
to increase
down to
I started out with slow velocity to wait for Atlanta to catch up, and then I
So
la-di-da'd and it ran over me.
from Chowder Hill north, we've got about 550 meters.
Okay, that's
So let's see what
probably-
that looks like. Let me get back to this here so I can
check.
So ooh, that's way too fast. Come on.
Oh yeah, we
Sometimes
gotta.
This is the
There you
decimal.
are, so you know.
You change your heading?
No, I just missed a number here and it goosed it, which changed the heading.
Okay.
So we start out with our velocities here around 0.15, just as Atlanta gets moving.
550.
And we're meant to play with these two numbers to stay out front.
400.
Failed.
5. Yeah, it should be just about like just the top of that, right above the Heineken Hollow label. Yeah. Like that's, I think, what we got our northern extent at.
Okay.
Just judging by the measurement.
Right above the words?
So you want to stop there, Rennie?
You mean?
Oh no, we're okay to keep going. So where Atalanta will be placed is roughly on this plane here.
Rather.
So we'll keep going until you're about there, and then we'll do the southern move.
No, go too fast.
Yeah, I was going to say, getting away.
Right
yeah,
now you're
I mean,
a bit
I was
ahead
counting like here. Like,
yeah.
It's like 600 or so
to there.
to there.
Yeah.
Based on this.
And that's what we are seeing. I just, where was your reference point for that 500 meters, Rennie?
Chowder Hill.
To where?
I'll stop.
North, 550 meters. So I just used the little scale bar and measured north 400, yeah, 550. Yeah, it's just about at the top of that Heineken Hollow.
Come down a bit.
Okay.
Give it a little more leash. I'll just
The
hold it here
Heineken Hollow
until
vent there?
The Heineken
Triangle?
Hollow label.
Oh, the words.
See where
So do you
I
think we went
tugged
far
and
enough
it wagged Herc's tail.
north to get our map?
I think so.
Okay.
It just looks a bit different up here
It does, doesn't it? Eh?
than the very defined Chowder
Yeah.
and Dead Dog.
Yeah.
Because it's hard to tell like that larger mound that is just off screen right now. Yeah.
So this offset from just about where you are, once Atalanta swings, and I may have to bump the ship a little more, I think that's the line we'll run. And we ran 030 up, so we'll do
210.
Yep. 210 down.
Megan, do you know if we were to take another gas tight, where we would want to take that?
I
Up
think
here or down
No, I
below?
think a Dead Dog.
Okay, so we don't need anything up here.
I don't. I don't think so.
You want to take another sample at Dead Dog?
Try this.
Well, the first
slow,
one was
slow,
actually,
sweet
we
thing.
think, at Chowder Hill.
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting.
We were just a little bit lost and
How-
confused. How confident?
Yeah.
Pretty confident now that we have the map
Okay.
of the two referenced to each other.
Good to know. I
Yeah.
need to update spreadsheets then.
Yeah.
I can't tell which would be more appropriate name, or maybe neither. But Norbit to me is it either the Eye of God or the Hand of God? Or it could be something else, like the Hand of Zeus or something.
You want your job back?
Atalanta.
I don't want it.
Atalanta. Jake, can you go somewhere and get another machine going that doesn't move? Did you ever get our other RViz program working?
Allison, that was a very definitive no. What are you thinking, Dirk? Like those mounds right there. Where do you think they are?
I think that's them. I think that's
think
these.
this is these?
And I think this plateau, the ridge here that we
Yeah.
see, is the what you can see off middle of our map
Yeah,
off
the
to
one
the
that
side.
kind of goes.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
that was
okay.
mapped as a plateau or some kind of ridge.
Yeah.
I hope so.
So we should be,
Yeah, I think
kinda
we've
up
rounded
here.
the corner.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
and I think by distance that makes sense too.
And by kind of relief and whatever,
Yeah.
I think I think we've seen what we had to see in between that
Yeah, I think-
saddle of the two.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Bridge nav. Step 10 meters, 120. Thank you.
Rennie, I had a question for you.
Yeah.
So if we were to like fill in the data moving as you're kind of like pointing the map now, I get that we fill in the back shadow of that mound in front of us. But if we were to go and cut across our original west transect, does that provide any like statistical strength?
It does. You can run a statistical tool on that. We call it a cross line. It's pretty common. If you're doing a proper survey, you would have your north, whatever, you're mowing the lawn pattern, and then you would drive
Like
across it,
perpendicular,
and
yeah,
then you
yeah.
can do some statistical analysis about the variation of one plane to the other.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering, right? Because we originally went a pretty hard east to west, and now we're coming north to south.
We were a little bit lost.
Yeah, yeah. But maybe there's value, right? Like maybe.
Yeah.
We did.
I got I'm moving Atalanta over 10 meters this way just to get closer to you, and then we can start our move.
Right, put it right on top of me.
Yeah.
We did that on the trawl frame. We did a north-south run, and then we did an east-west run. And we actually did two. We went south to north and north to south on the same line.
That'll be good to see what kind of, because we have a hard target.
And then we did a east to west and a west to east, and then we stopped the file. So there's a file in there with just those 4 runs. There's one, it actually does my initial, so we went down, up, and then a 45, and then across and back.
Oh, that's a good point. So as we're going south, will we overlap the survey that you guys did before it was stopped?
I don't know because I don't have that.
I think from what I heard earlier is they actually saw this chowder in the
Oh, right, yeah.
in the survey, and then that's why they stopped the
So
survey.
there should be
there should be overlap.
some
I just don't know
overlap.
which heading they were coming in at.
Right.
But I think
I'm
there's
gonna
going to be
move
overlap.
northeast a little bit.
But is the value of doing those like orthogonal scans worth the effort, or at this point is the resolution so good there's really no need to?
It's valuable to validate and have a means of kind of proving the quality of your data. For something that we're just trying to get coverage and time as a factor, you know, you don't, and you're not trying to prove it to anybody, you know, and we can reasonably tell, you know, there's ways also without that cross line, but that's kind of the gold standard of validating. It kind of can also inform you things about your, I mentioned that patch test earlier and the roll pitch heading offsets. It can inform you of any incorrectness there.
Cool. Can you use it? Sorry, last super data detailed question.
It's not the last one, Brandon. Stop lying.
Last
Stop
one
lying.
before you get started.
I'm sure there's an edge that I can't answer. I fall off the cliff.
Can you use it for like temporal difference as well? So looking at like the, you know, artifacts close to the original scan there, that were kind of like at the edge. If you were to do again a north-south pass there, and if those weren't validated, could you use that to be like, okay, I can pull these data points easier?
Yes, that's one of the reasons why we do overlap, is not only for perspective coverage, but also to be able to validate if there's inconsistencies and you're like, well, I can't quite remove that because it could be real. But then when you have another plane on it and you're like, well, this didn't see that, then you're like, well, it's very highly likely that these are sonar inconsistencies from that one pass. And you can rest a bit easier instead of either leaving in stuff that you think is bad or cutting out stuff just because you think it looks all right. It looks better, you know. Some people are guilty of over smoothing, and it's like, well, the data doesn't say that. You're kind of influencing a bit.
Are you going to set up a run line for the boat?
I don't plan to. It seemed to be going fine.
Roger.
And I can...
It's easier for them if they have a run line to keep Atalanta on. Got to get them trained up, might as well now. Diego nailed it. It's not rocket science. I think if they like it, it gives them something to do besides press buttons.
All right, Atalanta's probably close to settling. It's got a little more move, and then if we match heading, we'll take a look at that. And if that's an acceptable offset to drive on, as long as we've got our reciprocal heading from 030.
Define acceptable.
As long as it doesn't, I don't mind where Atalanta is as long as it won't tug you.
Closer to aligned they are, the better. So, like I say, if you give the boat a run line, let them deal with it. Otherwise, they don't know. They're just moving, right? They don't know what we're doing. So they can compensate. And you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, I don't want that to go south right now, so I'm just gonna, I can step over.
I ran the first line a bit offset. And
Bridge
it was
nav.
It was terrible.
Well, you don't know until you process the data, right? And then it's
10 meters, 120. Thank you.
We can try one offset, and you can compare that data to the one that we did earlier where we were banging a line, and maybe it doesn't make a difference.
It shouldn't as long as it's not tugging, but I mean, obviously that is a threat.
I can feel it tugging when we're doing a line and it's
Yeah.
not.
Yeah, I ended up, it was a little bit, and so I turned down the Atalanta heading speed in the PID a little bit, so
Right.
it was just, Atalanta moved a little bit slower to recover its heading, and it
That
seemed,
helped out?
it helped a little bit, yeah.
Yeah. So you can see it in the thrusters, right? When we're
Yeah.
doing lines, they're compensating. So Herc's verticals are compensating, and Atalanta's.
Atalanta's definitely more aggressive. So
Yeah. So it's yarding back and forth.
yeah. So I think I got it under control, but
I think it's worth the time in the beginning to.
yeah.
But
At that point, we had kind of already started the survey, so I was just like, all right, I'm going to deal with this. But
it's kind of the standard for doing longer surveys. For a short one, it probably doesn't matter. Then again, we have two Reason 8125s, and we're 1.8 meters off the seabed. So
Reason, what's Reason?
it's kind of the standard multi-beam.
Oh.
Kind of like the Mesotechs of multi-beams. They were around before R2 Sonic.
Yeah, that's a bit much.
They're also probably overly. They strive to get the best data you can because that's delivered to a client. If it's not good enough, they have to go run the line again, which can be. So they have a standard, right?
I mean, yeah, this is like 15, 20 meters. That's a bit much.
Yeah.
I think it was maybe the first run, it was maybe only 5 or 10 meters or something. Less than 10, definitely. Offset.
Yeah, definitely less than 10. One advantage of a free flyer is you don't have that, but it's really hard to, then you have to have the boat in line and your catenary straight behind you. So it's more on the boat to. I don't know how accurate it is anyways without an INS. That would hugely improve the.
Totally.
Okay, can you get your heading to is it 210, just about?
0, yeah.
I'm just doing that final cut of that data, and then I'll restart it, and then Atalanta will be over Herc, and we'll start our move.
Well, the goal is dialed in 210.
Roger that. Sounds
It's
good.
oscillating back and forth.
That's okay.
2 degrees. That tug there is holding it. Well, that's within a degree now. If you watch these numbers here, you can see what the oscillation is. Well, it's plus or minus a degree. And if you do the math, a degree at 50 meters is... Let's just do it. So when
Oh, you're not on auto XY, so you've been drifting to the east a bit. If we come back, actually, just a little bit, I think you'll center up under Atalanta.
Oh, I'm totally drifting to the east. Sorry.
That's okay.
I was not paying attention either.
I only just caught it.
I did too. So 1 degree at 50 meters is almost a meter.
Okay, I'm going to call in the move, just it'll take a bit and to get started, but I think you'll center up under there.
Yeah, no, I'll come under.
Bridge nav.
Atalanta here.
We'd like a step 600 meters, bearing 210. Thank you. Okay, I just wanted to get my extent there. We'll watch it mow. We've had it at 0.5, and that seems to be, you guys dialed that in last night. It was okay to drive?
Huh?
The half a knot. It works for us, survey-wise, for this.
I thought it was okay. That's what we've been doing, right?
Yeah, it's all good.
That was all right.
I think any faster you get into...
As long as the data looked all right.
Yeah, data.
That's kind of the standard.
Yeah.
2.25 meters a second. We did ours at 0.3 just because
start.
Well, the wind was howling and we were afraid the boat would.
Yeah.
He was going sideways. I don't know what the wind is now.
Your delta, you got the tether above.
Yeah, not worried about it. It'll sort itself out when we start moving. 20 knots. He might struggle a bit there. It's just bouncing up behind us, ready? See, he's got the wind on his bow there?
Yeah, just about.
Should be all right. I'm ready whenever.
What's that?
I'm ready whenever you want.
How, what?
Oh, you already got him going.
Oh, yeah, he's going. It'll just take a bit for Atalanta, and we'll go. You're not getting a focus? Is that what you're laughing at?
Yeah, I'd move it, it'd focus, and then it would just go blur.
Yeah, it's been doing that lately, and it's starting to get worse.
Auto blur.
Yeah.
Be interesting to hear from ONC's perspective, because this is a site that has no development, and kind of how this map informs the development versus the other sites where they were developed and then we've just made a map of them, you know. If from your perspective, like kind of what kind of value that provides.
I would say a huge amount of value. So if we are to expand to Middle Valley, which is possible because we have some infrastructure there, we would have to install a node and cables and junction boxes to get instrumentation here. But like two big things. One is now Middle Valley is part of the larger marine protected area. So being able to show where we would propose to put our infrastructure to where we wouldn't really be harming the key vent areas would be a big deal.
Yeah.
And then figuring out like, how long would a cable need to be?
Sure.
Where would, you know, what kind of infrastructure should we really be looking for at this site?
Yeah, it's a cool application for that.
Huge, yeah.
Let's think about how much time, think of all the video surveys we've done around Endeavour of potential cable routes, and you know, just only to find something that, okay, that one's not going to work, we'll try this one. Think of all the ship time you'll save having a resolution.
Yeah, just really way more solid advanced planning.
I think we're on the move, just starting.
And you can then do a video survey based on some information that...
Yeah, some key areas, right? To sort of narrow it down.
So we found last year when we were mapping with Norbit coming down the seamounts, and then we would do a quick process of the map and have it here on our nav display in the high pack, and the capability that it gave us to turn around and then come back up the seamount.
Oh yeah.
So we could really pick out our route.
And you always knew kind of where you were relative to the bigger picture, hey?
Yeah, because we had, you know, we obviously multi-beam with the ship first, but depending on the depth, you know, you get that.
A little blobby.
Yeah, and then, so yeah, and you can do, obviously they do all the preliminary planning with that, Rennie does, and then, but having the Norbit data, and we could, as we're going up, make real-time decisions on, you know, go to look at, for example, outcrops and cliffs and valleys and stuff, or avoid stuff.
Yeah. Which seamounts were those, Dan?
Oh, jeez, there've been so many I can't. I'll watch the names even if I try.
Which area of?
Rennie is better with those kind of names. Some of the sanctuaries we did last year.
Okay, yeah. Off of Hawaii.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Where were we? We were in Papahanaumokuakea, but I'm trying to think of what, if it was it might have been the Liliuokalani seamount chain.
Yeah, it's such a huge, one of the biggest marine protected areas in the States, I know.
Yeah, it's one of the largest in the world too.
Yeah.
Bigger than the new one here?
I didn't want to go there.
I don't know, it's pretty big.
133,000 square kilometers?
You can, you'll have to Google that, because those details and numbers go, they're for the most part over my head.